Alright, before we hop into the video today, just a quick thank you to our sponsor, Sports TNB. Hey, if you play 2K, you know the grind is real. The badge grind can get tough, so if you're looking to buy a stacked NBA 2K account with max badges and everything like that, visit sportstnb.com. Make sure to let him know Hayden YT sent you, and he'll get you everything you need. He's legit. First link in the description down below. Go check it out. Alright, what's going on YouTube? Hayden here. Today we're back with a brand new video. Before I hop into the video, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, hit the red subscribe button, hit the post notification bell to know when I post content on this channel. Comment down below what you think of the video. Yeah, let's get right into it. So as cliche as these kind of decade videos can get, it's always fun to look back and see the history and how things have played out. I don't know when I may be recording this idea, but I might already have some other end of decade videos already on the channel. But that's all besides the point. Let's go ahead and get right into the topic of the video. 10 years has passed pretty quickly, and many players and staff have come and gone throughout the Georgia football program since 2010. I know that the 2010 season isn't technically 10 years ago, but since we're coming up on 2020, I just thought it would make the most sense to do 2010. So yeah, let's get back into the video. So let's take it back to the season leading up to the 2010-2011 football season. Georgia finished the 2009 season with an 8-5 record, 4-4 in conference play. Capped that all off with the Independence Bowl victory against Texas A&M. 44-20. What an interesting year 2009 was, as Joe Cox was the guy with the keys to the offense, and the main running back would be with Sean Ely alongside with Caleb King. But the most notable name on that offense would be AJ Green and a young Tavares King, who at the time wasn't producing much numbers as he would later on in his career. So hopping into 2010, this would be Mark Richt's 10th season as the head coach of the Georgia football program. What would end up going down as the worst in his tenure at Georgia. It was looking somewhat promising as Georgia came into the season ranked 23rd in the AP poll, and we're starting fresh at the quarterback position with the guy you may know who goes by the name of Aaron Murray, a Georgia football and SEC football legend, I guess you could probably say. Georgia would also be returning 10 offensive starters from the year prior. But the question that loomed around this whole entire football team was the defense being able to only return 4 starters from the year prior, from that 8-5 season in 2009. There was a 2010 preview that stated that there should be no reason the offense struggles no matter if a redshirt freshman is at the helm of it all, and that there was just too much talent around for this team to not achieve a 9-10 win season. Isn't that the story of the Mark Richt era? The 9-10 win seasons with a bunch of talent. This offense in 2010 will be highlighted by a plethora of future NFL players, and I guess the same could be probably said with the defense that season. Game number 1 of the season would kick off against the Sun Belt opponent Louisiana Lafayette, where Georgia would handle its business and win the game 55-7 as they should have. All of that fun would end pretty abruptly once they made the travel to Williams-Brice Stadium and were facing up against the 24th ranked South Carolina Gamecocks, where they would eventually lose that game 17-6. They would continue to lose 3 more games in a row, coming against the Ryan Mallett-led Arkansas Razorbacks, who at the time were ranked number 12 in the nation. They would also go on to lose to a non-ranked Mississippi State team at the time, who at the end of the 2010 season would end up being ranked 15th. But the lowest point of the year would come when they fell to a 1-4 record after a loss to Colorado, who interestingly enough was a member of the Big 12 at the time, and they're now a current Pac-12 member. That 2010 Colorado team would finish that season 5-7, and that would be the lowest point of that whole entire 2010 season. They would, however, go on to find a way to win 3 straight games, with 2 of them being blowouts against Tennessee and Vanderbilt. But to put this all into perspective though, the SEC East was a dumpster fire in 2010, with only 2 teams finishing with plus 500 records, that being Florida and South Carolina. Georgia went into the next game sitting at 4-4. And will be facing the notable rival University of Florida. Looking back at this would go down as one of the better Georgia-Florida games in the history of the rivalry, but mainly for Florida though, because Georgia would end up losing this game in overtime. Georgia had a shot to score in overtime late, but an Aaron Murray pass would be picked off by Will Hill, who actually made a miraculous return and almost returned it all the way back for a pick 6. But after review, he ended up stepping out around the 5-yard line. And Florida on that possession after the interception would go on to kick the game-winning field goal. Florida would walk away with the W that day. Georgia would end up winning their next 2 out of their 3 games and close the regular season at a measly 6-6, and would stumble into the Liberty Bowl against the 10-3, 25th ranked UCF Golden Knights. Georgia would bow out and lose a defensive battle 10-6 and finish the year at a whopping 6-7. This would be an end of an era for the 2 main running backs of the previous 2 seasons, with Sean Ely and Caleb King, 2 guys who never reached the 1,000-yard peak and this would be the end for them as they were seniors. Aaron Murray and AJ Green would be the main bright spots on the offensive side of the ball, and Tavares King would have a step up in production for 2009, where in 2010 he had finished with 27 catches for 504 yards. Georgia would also have a surprise star in Chris Durham, who finished the year with 32 catches, 659 yards, which was a guy who only had 100-yard seasons prior to this season. On the defensive side of things, they would get their main production from Akeem Dent, Justin Houston, who would have a star year gathering 18.5 TFLs. And to go along with that, he earned 10 sacks, which would earn him first-team SEC honors and an All-American honor. They would also get production from Bakari Rambo and Brandon Boykin in the secondary. Those four names, Akeem Dent, Justin Houston, Bakari Rambo, Brandon Boykin, were all key names from that Georgia football era, and will probably go down as some of the best to come through the Georgia football program. The 2010 year may have been a down year in the Mark Richt era, but this wouldn't last long, as the next season they would go on and get back to their regular ways and get to a 10-4 record. And then the year after that, in 2012, they would go 12-2. This is the year where Georgia would come out just short of an SEC championship, an NCAA title berth against Notre Dame. So yeah, that's a little trip down memory lane. Maybe not the best trip if you were a Georgia fan like me, but I guess it's all still fun to look back and just check up on the past, because these are things that you can easily forget, especially going this far back. And it's just the best time to do a video like this here coming up on the end of this decade. But yeah, that's all we have for today's video. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this kind of style of video. I do have a couple other maybe decade videos planned and in the works, so if you guys enjoy this one, I'll probably go ahead and proceed and finish up on a couple of those. Make sure to hit the red subscribe button if you are not already subscribed to this channel. Comment down below what you think of this style of video. Comment down below what you think of the 2010 Georgia football team. Other than that, it's been Hayden. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.